sounds I
welcome you to the 2022 Tourism Awards and Cocktail Reception. I wish to recognize the presence of the Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Carlos James. Please put your hands together in recognition of the Minister. I also wish to recognize the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Dr. Risa Noel. I also wish to Dr. Risa Noel McBarnett, my apologies, also the CEO of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Tourism Authority, Mr. Glenn Beach. Ladies and gentlemen, the task of welcoming you here this evening belongs to the CEO of the SVG Tourism Authority, Mr. Glenn Beach. Please put your hands together and welcome as he comes to the lectern.
Pleasant good evening to everybody. Honorable Minister of Tourism, Honorable Carlos James, PS of the Ministry of Tourism, other ministers of government, Ambassador to CARICOM, His Excellency Alan Alexander, members of staff of the Ministry of Tourism, Tourism Authority, national parks, rivers, and beaches, members of the media, stakeholders within the tourism industry. And when I say stakeholders, that's very broad because it can go to immigration, hoteliers, tour operators, tour guides, awardees. Once again, a pleasant good evening. It makes me so happy to welcome you here this evening because, as many of you know, it has been a challenging 2.5 to 3 years without this award ceremony. For one, as all of you would know, we've had COVID, we've had the eruption. It's been challenging. And within the scope of everything that has gone on internationally, I think the only industry to be affected more over the past 3 years than tourism has been health. And tourism is challenging enough without extracurricular activities, so to speak, within the industry. It is an industry that all of us love. It is an industry that has helped St. Vincent the Grenadines to develop and continue to develop. It's our #1 foreign exchange earner. And it is an industry that, as I tell my staff, as much as so many people take it for granted, it is something where it's no different to law. And we know we have a lot of lawyers here this evening, engineers, doctors. It is an industry where you have to continuously educate yourself on what is taking place. We are in a new dimension here in St. Vincent the Grenadines within the tourism industry. We have seen the cruise ships return. We have seen international flights such as Air Canada return to the shores of St. Vincent the Grenadines. On March 3rd, we will see American Airlines begin service daily out of Miami. And that is a challenge, because one of the things that I don't think people understand and people realize, we're also happy about AIA, Argyle International Airport, being constructed. And we're all of us, were in a hurry, so to speak, to see these international airlines come in. And sometimes we're a bit impatient in terms of our expectations. And I told a gentleman the other day when he was asking me about JetBlue, and I'm sure I'll get that question here this evening also. I said, you know, when you look at AIA and when you look at St. Vincent the Grenadines, understand that Argyle International Airport is up against every other international airport within the Caribbean, within the US, within Canada, within the UK. And every airport is vying for these flights. Many of you would have seen over the months, American Airlines has changed which plane, the type of plane they've used to come into St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And everybody is vying for that airline to come in. I think the team of the Tourism Authority, the Ministry of Tourism, National Parks have done a tremendous job over the years. I usually say that within the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and within the statutory bodies, that I don't think that there is a more efficient statutory body in government than National Parks, Rivers, and Beaches. I don't think we understand what an organization like that goes through. And the expectations on their heads, so to speak. We are unique in terms of what we have to offer as a destination, as a product. We are diverse, and that makes us unique. You know, a lot of times when we do interviews, the basic question is, well, Mr. Beach, what makes St. Vincent and the Grenadines different? What makes you unique? And the Minister of Tourism from Jamaica always says when he's asked that question, you know what makes Jamaica unique? It's our people. They are friendly, they are loving. And it's a great answer. It's a great answer for the media. But every destination and every minister or CEO comes up with that answer. Our people. And I agree. Vincentians are lovely. We are a lovely people. But when you get that question, you have to carry it beyond that. Why would people want to visit St. Vincent and the Grenadines over other destinations around the world, and especially within the Caribbean? And the simple answer is, my answer, is the diversity of the destination. The black sand, the white sand beaches, 32 islands and keys. Pay for one, get 31 free. I don't think there is a destination within the Caribbean that comes close to us in terms of diversity. We have been late on the scene in terms of tourism compared to our competition, but I think that's a blessing to a certain extent. It allows us to look at the mistakes that our neighbors have made and make sure that we don't make those same mistakes. The slogan from the Ministry of Tourism, tourism is everybody's business, could not be more true. It's something for all of us to take pride in, to work towards a better St. Vincent and the Grenadines, not only for tourists, but for Vincentians on a whole. And I urge each and every one of us to try and make that happen. So congratulations to all the awardees here this evening. I want to thank all the sponsors who have graced us with their presence this evening and have sponsored one or two of the trophies here this evening. And please have a wonderful night and enjoy to the fullest. Thank you.
Thank you very much, CEO Beach. Just before we continue, I'd like to invite all the awardees to please occupy the seats at the front. So we're just going to give you some time for you to do that. If you know you're receiving an award this evening, please be seated at the front. And of course, the Ministry of Tourism and the CEO highlighted the importance and the work that the stakeholders play in the development of this industry. And to bring remarks, I would like to invite the president of the SVG Hotel and Tourism Association, Kim Hamlish.
Good evening, everyone. Protocol having been established, welcome. As we look back over the past 2.5 years, we recognize how fragile and important the hospitality industry is to our small developing nation. The industry was devastated by the pandemic, then the volcanic eruption. Many of our hotels were ghost towns. Then they became quarantine centers. Then they became evacuation shelters. This is what we had to do in order to survive. Boats and yachts did not leave their moorings, and many persons opted to leave the industry. It was just so hard. I am so pleased to be back once again and happy indeed to be part of this annual Tourism Awards ceremony. Tonight's ceremony showcases persons who have not only excelled in their chosen professions, but who have weathered the storm of the past 2.5 years and have decided to stay. I often say this industry is not an easy one by any stretch of the imagination. It comes with long and late hours, often always on your feet, sometimes dealing with fussy and unpleasable guests. Working on holidays like Christmas and New Year and Easter while all your friends and relatives are partying. But even with all of this, it is one of the most rewarding career choices because no day is the same. It is never monotonous. We do not sit at the same desk. We get to experience new culture and meet new people. You can be creative. You can choose to be exceptional. You could choose to stand out. You are only limited by your own selves. The opportunity for advancement is amazing in this industry. You could start as a waiter today and by the end of the year be the floor supervisor or the manager. I am so proud to be a part of tonight's proceeding as we recognize the hard work and dedication of those who went above and beyond, those who chose to stand out. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is moving towards bigger things in this industry. Brand name properties, more flights, doubling our room stocks. But as we grow, we in the industry, we as the industry leaders, must embark on some serious public-private sector partnerships as we continue together to build a tourism industry whose strength is in our friendly and welcoming people, our phenomenal natural environment, and our rich culture. We must develop and educate our people. We must work to change the mindsets of our young people. Too many are opting to lime on the block or just stay at home. We need to offer exciting certificate programs for persons within the industry and encourage those to join. We must fill the ever-increasing need of scheduled public transportation, especially at nights, on Sundays and public holidays. It is time to give those skilled persons who live in the rural areas a chance to shine at home. We must protect our natural environment and preserve our cultural heritage. It can only fade away as I see the shrinking beaches, the dying reefs, and the excess litter. While we develop, if we don't protect what our people enjoy and what our visitors come to see, they will not come. We have developed and implemented many laws, regulations, and standards We now must make it our mission to make sure that these standards are enforced. Again, tonight, to the awardees, I say congratulations on a job well done. We are extremely proud of your achievements. And I would ask you to make it your mission to support and encourage others to rise up with you. As together we will rise, but divided we will fall. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That was Kim Halbish of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Hotel and Tourism Association. So we've had two presentations so far, and there's been a common theme of the warmth and hospitality of the Vincentian people. And clearly, if you had an opportunity today just to pay attention to the welcoming party, to the president, the visiting president of the Republic of Cuba to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which took place earlier today, that was quite evident in the warmth and the hospitality of the Vincentian people. So that's something we ought to celebrate and to always live up to as Vincentians. And in doing so, I suppose it's a very prideful moment for the Minister of Tourism, Civil Aviation, Sustainable Development and Culture. Please put your hands together and welcome to make remarks the Honorable Carlos James.
Thank you very much, Dion. Let me welcome all of the invited guests, the awardees who are expected to later recognize you for your contribution within the sector. And of course, the Ambassador of Venezuela, Ambassador Perez, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, the Chair and the Board of Directors of the Tourism Authority, the Chief Executive Officer, the Chief Operating Officer, and all of the staff at the Ministry of Tourism, but importantly, the stakeholders in tourism. Good evening. Kim did exceptionally well with a political speech. I was rather intrigued, so I will not venture into giving a political speech tonight. But just to say that this has been quite an interesting year, 2 years for all of us as stakeholders. When I came into the Ministry of Tourism, it was just on the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. And then when I thought that it could not have gotten any worse, then we had the explosive eruption of the Lassa Fray. It meant that a lot of businesses had to close their doors. A lot of taxi operators had to pack. A lot of tour guides and tour operators had to seek or sought businesses elsewhere in terms of employment. And essentially a lot of boats as well from the marine sector, those marine tour operators had to anchor. And this period of uncertainty which we experienced really taught us a lesson of how fragile the sector is and how important it is from a policy level for us to focus on sustainable livelihoods and sustainable tourism. We spent the last 2 years working with you stakeholders to build a more resilient sector. And I'm hoping that the experiences that all of us would have learned importantly how to recover, bounce back, and build back better and stronger and more resilient in a period of future uncertainties within the tourism sector. As Minister of Tourism, I could not have had a more important ministry because of the importance of tourism to livelihoods. And when I look around and I see the taxi operators and the tour guides, the more important pillars of the sector, the trickle-down effect, which would naturally occur when there's visitor arrivals and foreign exchange earning. this sector is responsible for putting food on the tables of far more people in the country than any other sector within the economy. And we do it at a faster rate. Coming out of the period of COVID and the volcano, we intend as the ministry to work even closer with you, the stakeholders. It is a period of transformation for tourism. We're expecting to very soon add close to 1,000 rooms to our room stock. Have daily flights coming to St. Vincent and the Grenadines as early as next year, the first quarter. And what we are anticipating to the sector, particularly on the mainland, is a complete transition to having a more robust tourism industry. It clearly would require us to have more transportation, public transportation on the roads, even late at evenings. Our transportation sector would have to change. You go on the road at 7, 8 at evenings, you can't get a passenger van. But there are people who will be leaving the hotels at midnight, and the last shift will need to get to their homes in Glen, in Rose Hall, in Sandy, in Georgetown, in Chateaubriand. And that's one aspect of the transition that is coming. I'll give you an example of the requirement within the sector, and I'm putting the charge on you as stakeholders to brace yourself to put a lot more investment within tourism. In January of 2023, we have 2 large ships coming to Port Kingston. And I was informed by one of the agents that they had to cancel one of the ships. I said, but why are you canceling the ships? We can accommodate at least 2 vessels. He said, well, Minister, if we were to allow the ship to come, we don't have enough buses that are assigned to the tourism industry to take them on land tours. We don't have enough yachts or vessels to take them on the marine tours, which we have the Grenadine Islands and the north coast of St. Vincent. Richard, the owner of Mangoes, he has invested, he has expanded his fleet. Jamak, who's here from Wind and Sea, he has quite a few boats as well, as so has Kim, but we simply need more boats in the water. We need more coaster buses on the roads when the tours are taking place. And I've immediately worked with, having heard of the concerns of some of the agents on the ships. I'd called one of the agents for vehicles and I said, look, we have to work on a package where we can make these coaster buses more affordable to stakeholders. I said, we'll ensure we have the concessions from the government, but you have to work with your authorized agents of let's say, Toyota, to make the buses more affordable. Hopefully in the new year, a brand new Toyota coaster bus, which would land you anywhere about $250,000. We're working the numbers currently to see how we can get one of those buses down to at least 170 ballpark figure, Eastern Caribbean dollars, so that they can be more affordable for stakeholders to invest. Then you will hear, well, when you come to mainland, there's a lot of activities, the nature, the environment, waterfalls, black sand beaches, but we simply need more adventure tourism activities. We have to seriously consider in regulating the importation of, or lifting the restriction on the importation of wave runners, and we can possibly zone them in areas away from the hotel belt where we can take them on the north coast and further areas where we can accommodate this type of activities, jet skis. Then you'll hear, well, we don't have any zip lines or quad bikes, so we can take tours inland. And I keep saying to persons, it is not the government's responsibility to invest in these type of activities. What we do, we facilitate it, we provide the concessions, we assist with the regulations to allow the implementation of these type of activities, including the safety and security and so on. That's why we have the Tourism Authority that works closely with stakeholders regarding standards. And I can understand if stakeholders would shy away maybe 5 years ago from investing in the tourism sector, putting in a zip line, a cable car, or quad bikes to do marine tours and land tours. But the opportunity that is coming within a few months from now, the completion of Sandals, Royal Mill, the Marriott, all of these major hotels to add to the complement of hotels we have on mainland. We're going to see a lot more visitors to our islands. They want more things to do, and we have to provide the opportunities and put the resources in to make the investment in tourism and all of the complementary packages that come with the tourism sector. So I'm encouraging you stakeholders to seriously look at the numbers, look at what is happening now at the airport with flights from Miami, New York, Canada. Look at what is going to happen with daily flights coming out of Miami next year. Do the numbers and see whether or not now is the right time to make that leap in major investment in tourism-related services in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Now is the opportunity to get on board with that. So I'm encouraging you to look at that. I am indeed honored to be the Minister of Tourism with a staff complement, including the Tourism Authority, National Parks, beaches, and all of the other sub-agencies, who do a lot of hard work. A lot of work takes place behind the scenes, which many of us may not take note of easily. But I want to publicly commend the staff within the Ministry of Tourism, especially the last 2 years of hard work, assisting with the recovery of the sector. The Tourism Authority, who despite their many challenges with not being able to go off on road shows, were able to start some road shows this year, but even prior, had some virtual sessions with tour agencies and so on across Europe and North America. The stakeholders within this sector, again, I want to also thank you for your resilience during this period. It is the most trying period for you, and clearly the returns at the end, we're hoping will be fruitful because of all of the hard work that we have done. And I want to commend equally the stakeholders and the staff within tourism for the excellent display of discipline, tenacity, and hard work in ensuring that we remain vibrant as a sector. I will end here by saying that within the next year, we intend to have a lot more engagement with US stakeholders. We will launch fully next year a major restaurant week for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We will go into all of the communities across this country to broaden the awareness of the importance of tourism as a sector. Very often on mainland, a lot of people don't see the importance of tourism and what it does to the economy. You go to the Grenadines, it's a completely different story because that's their livelihood. If there's no tourism in the Grenadines, a lot of the businesses will close. A lot of the employment will dry up. On mainland, we're coming from an agricultural base, our service sector, not necessarily having a greater appreciation of the importance of tourism to sustainable livelihoods. And we have to take that message across the length and breadth of mainland St. Vincent to create the awareness as to the importance of tourism as a sector to the economy and to the country. And I would ask and urge of you as stakeholders to work with us to ensure that what we do, the message is clear, and that there's a greater appreciation of the importance of tourism as a sector. I want to wish you the very best this evening, all of the nominees and even those who are receiving awards or not receiving awards. You play just an important role to the economy and the sector, and I value and appreciate each and every one of you. Well, let's hope for a very wonderful season, and I wish you all the best tonight. God bless and thank you.
At this time, I would like to move the program into its next phase with the citations and the presentation of awards. And to commence this segment, I'll invite Bianca Porter from the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Hotel and Tourism Association to do the citation for those awards. She will be assisted by Nicole Hazel Dunmonroe.
Good evening, everyone. The task of reading the citations of the various awardees of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Hotel and Tourism Association has been assigned to Nicole Dunmonroe and myself. I will start. I'm starting with Bartender of the Year 2022. Hudson Webb has shown tremendous talent in prioritizing his task to allow a work-smarter attitude on the floor of the restaurant and the bar. He takes the lead to have everything prepared ahead of time whenever Sunset Shores hosts an event. He trains and oversees the other staff, making sure that the Sunset Shores level of service is maintained throughout the day and is always ready to assist when needed. Bartender of the Year 2022, Mr. Hudson Webb. This award was sponsored by East Caribbean Group of Companies. And if there's a representative of East Caribbean Group of Companies, please make your way up to the stage, please. And of course, we'd like Hudson to come up. I'm hoping he is here. Okay, you go that way.
All of them are right now.
They should have shown them that.
Congratulations.
So you're going to do the second one, which is long. It's Young Island, but that's okay. So you're just going to see Chef of the Year.
Congratulations again, Hudson Webb. So I'm going to be presenting Chef of the Year 2022. With encouragement from an introduction by the late Young Island Resort co-owner, Sir Frederick Ballantyne, Shanice Ince commenced working at Young Island Resort as a dishwasher in early February 2019. At that time, she was a novice with no prior knowledge of kitchen operations nor of the culinary arts. Due to her demonstrated interest in the culinary arts, by late 2019, Shanice was promoted to the position of junior chef, with her primary responsibility being to learn to prepare and plate the various breakfast items on the resort's a la carte breakfast menu, and to be coached and mentored by senior chefs to learn how to cook a wide variety of a la carte lunch menus and weekly changing buffet lunch menu. Today, Shanice has aptly risen to become the resort's primary and highly competent breakfast chef. Moreover, she ably works on lunch preparation daily and leads the lunch shift in the absence of any of the resort's senior chefs. A native of Mount Brennan, Shanice has never one day been late for work. In fact, she is scheduled 6 days per week for the 7 a.m. shift, but routinely reports for work at 6:30 a.m., including Sundays. The resort's executive chef has indicated that she has never been reluctant to give up her 1 day off per week if the resort is busy and extra assistance is required in the kitchen. Furthermore, if someone calls in sick, she will never view this as a negative situation, but instead she will simply proceed with lunch preparation on her own despite the challenges. In other words, she will do what is required to ensure the smooth running of the work shift. She has consistently demonstrated that if a dishwasher does not show up for work, she will of her own accord assist in between her duties with dishwashing without feeling that this task is too menial for her. Additionally, if the restaurant is busy, she seamlessly rises to the occasion, ensuring that orders are not only prepared in a timely fashion, but that they are professionally presented according to Young Island standards. Shanice is a quick learner, a trait which was identified by Canadian George Brown College pastry chef trainer, and Jennifer Lacan D'Souza, which she conducted a 1-week training workshop in pastry and dessert making at the resort in March of 2019. Although Shanice was a dishwasher at the time, she eagerly embraced this training opportunity in the early days of her tenure. She has also participated in restaurant training facilitated by the SVG Tourism Authority. Food stock levels are important in any kitchen, and Shanice pays keen attention to the stock levels, and without any prompting, she communicates what is needed to the general manager or the purchasing officer in the absence of the executive chef or any of the senior chefs. To sum it up, Shanice Ince not only takes pride in her work as a chef, but she is also creative, resourceful, and a team player who is a culinary arts rising star. Congratulations to Chef of the Year 2022, Shanice Ince. Award is sponsored by East Caribbean Group of Companies. So if we can have Caribbean Group of Companies come up and Shanice Ince, please. Thank you.
She's here. Congratulations. Yes, yes. Oh, this is good. Yes. Yeah, we should move.
The next award is that of Dive Operator of the Year. Serenity Dive has been in operation for 9 years. Like any other dive shop, Serenity Dive has had its ups and downs, but Serenity Dive has persevered and stayed open through the COVID-19 pandemic and the volcanic eruption. Serenity Dive has been in the forefront in the control of the invasive lionfish, has removed over 25,000 of the species and broadened the awareness of them through its monthly lionfish fish fry. Serenity Dive continues to set the bar for professionalism and diversity, and despite the struggles, was able to start the first ever coral restoration program here on mainland St. Vincent, in which a nursery with 800 pieces of elkhorn coral was started for outplanting. Serenity Dive continues to educate teenagers, students, and all locals alike by exposing them to the many opportunities within the diving sector and opening the doors to a niche market that was previously only seen to be a tourist affordable activity. Ladies and gentlemen, Dive Operator of the Year 2022, Serenity Dive. This award was sponsored by St. Vincent Brewery Limited. So if there's a representative here tonight from the sponsor, please make your way to the stage.
I think you're supposed to stand.
Front Office Person of the Year 2022. Vian Telemac has learned a lot about the yachting industry in the past years of working with Sail Grenadines and continuously giving more than 100% attention to everything she does. Vian is actively booking day charters and overnight charters and has provided charter bookings not just to Sail Grenadines in the past year, but she also provided bookings to many other local chartered companies and private boat operators when Sail Grenadines did not have a boat option available. Through her knowledge of the islands and excellent communication on email, she provides potential clients from around the world with all the information they need to be able to book their holiday in SVG. Vian's job includes holiday planning, arranging flights, choosing a boat, assisting with itineraries throughout the islands, as well as reconnecting accommodation ashore, and restaurants and activities once they arrive. She is also on call in case the guests have any questions or problems once they arrive. She continually receives excellent feedback from yacht owners, charter guests, and crew who work with her, and she is very reliable and a trustworthy staff member. This year, she will also travel to the Antigua Charter Show as the representative for Sail Grenadines to gain further knowledge of the charter industry. Front Office Person of the Year 2022, Vian Telemac. Congratulations. This award is sponsored by St. Vincent Cooperative Bank Limited.
If there's a representative, you're going to stand right
If there's a representative from
now.
Cooperative.
Cooperative Bank.
Is there a representative from St. Vincent Cooperative Bank Limited here? Mrs. Kim Halbish will do the awarding tonight.
The next award is that of Gardener of the Year. Newton George is the rock of Grenadine House, the jack of all trades. When you enter the property, you see his excellent work being displayed from the garden to the pool. He ensures that the property is well kept each day. Newton is truly an artist with good work ethics and leadership skills. Ladies and gentlemen, Gardener of the Year 2022, let us congratulate and invite to the stage Mr. Newton George. This award was sponsored by Quick Cash Corporation, and if there's a representative of Quick Cash here, please make your way up.
Congratulations.
We're just waiting for me. We haven't seen anyone here from, someone is coming? Okay, we have Mr. Roald Derrick representing Quick Cash Corporation. He will present the award.
Housekeeper of the Year 2022. Sarah Hendrickson began a 6-month internship at Mariners Hotel in 2016 and 17, and because of her outstanding work, was hired in February 2018. In only a short period of time, Sarah grew out of her shell to show remarkable and creative skills in her department. Throughout her time at Mariners Inn, Sarah has shown commitment to her job by always going above and beyond her call of duty. She is also passionate about her work and has strong time management, good interpersonal and communication skills. She is truly deserving of this recognition. Congratulations, Housekeeper of the Year 2022, Sarah Hendrickson. This award is sponsored by Correios Distribution Limited. Is anyone here from Correios Distribution Limited?
I'm not sure. I don't see anybody coming. No.
I will now read the citation for Island Ambassador of the Year. Colin George has been a part of the Fantasy Tours family for over 15 years. He is employed as a tour guide and crew member on board and has always been dependable and hardworking. He is first on the job and makes sure everything is in order before he welcomes guests on board. There is always wonderful feedback after a tour with Colin, who is a true island ambassador. He has proven to be a tremendous asset to the company during the pandemic when he never had to be asked, but would find and carry out tasks throughout the company and his sister company, Paradise Beach Hotel. Colin made sure everything was in order and carried out tasks in many areas that did not fall under his job description. And as the saying goes, the only reward for good work is more work. Everyone calls on Colin to find something or help them to do something. His humble and quiet demeanor often hides his intelligence and sharp wit, which his friends and co-workers have all experienced firsthand. The fantasy team believes that Colin performs exceptionally and should be recognized for always going above and beyond. Congratulations, Colin George. Please make your way up to the stage. Island Ambassador of the Year 2022. This award is sponsored by Gecko, and if there's a representative of Gecko here, please make your way up. On the congrats. The award is presented by his boss, Kim Halbish.
Room Attendant of the Year 2022. Adronica Small has been employed as a room attendant at Young Island Resort for 20 years. Oftentimes on her day off and with short notice, she readily agrees to come into work when required. In addition, without being asked, she remains on the job sometimes for up to 2 hours later than scheduled to ensure that everything is in place for guests. Adronica has eagerly attended training workshops and has been keen to participate in both on-the-job and off-the-job training. She also ensures that maintenance issues in cottages are recorded in a timely manner, giving this information to the maintenance staff on the same day to ensure guest satisfaction. Adronica goes the extra mile by doing more than her daily assigned task. This is evidenced when, after completing her assigned cottages without being asked, she assists other room attendants with theirs. She is always open to learning and has embraced towel art over the years. She also displays her creativity in her floral arrangements in cottages, using flowers from the garden. She takes time to familiarize herself with guests' name, and there are even guests who specifically request that she clean their cottages. Over the years, Ms. Small has clearly demonstrated that adopting a positive attitude can only lead to good things, including self-improvement and positive comments about the property. Ladies and gentlemen, Room Attendant of the Year 2022, Adronica Small. Congratulations. This award is sponsored by Simonson Brewery Limited.
Congratulations. You can just.
Supervisor of the Year. Crystal Finley Andrews joined the Mariners team 16 years ago and is now the front office supervisor, overseeing the front office, housekeeping, and maintenance departments. Over the years, she has taken on numerous responsibilities to ensure the successful functioning of the operation and has played a pivotal role in the training and development of new team members. Without being asked, Crystal created a front office training manual for the team that included a detailed overview of the property and standard operating procedures that served as a guide to assist them in their daily duties. Crystal also embodies the spirit of what true hospitality is about and has received endless praise from hotel guests. If you see Crystal on property, she is always wearing a welcoming and friendly smile. She has earned us several repeat customers, and many of them expressed that she is the reason they chose Mariners Hotel. Whenever there are critical customer service issues, Crystal has always diffused the situation and made the customer happy. In addition to her excellent problem-solving skills, she also possesses great communication and organizational skills. If there are mechanical issues on property, Crystal does not wait for that department to handle them. She springs into action and gets them fixed in a timely manner so there's minimum impact on the guest experience. Supervisor of the Year 2022, Crystal Findlay Andrews. Congratulations. As Crystal makes her way up, I will also ask a representative of Sagicor Life Inc., if there's one, to make your way up to the stage as well, as this award was sponsored by Sagicor Life Inc.
Waitress of the Year 2022. Kamala Graves is a well-known face and name at the French Veranda restaurant, Mariners Hotel. Kamala began her employment there in year 2004. Throughout her years with the French Veranda team, Kamala has shown her all-around skills and hard-working attitude. She goes above and beyond for the business and also ensures everything is done with utmost professionalism and quality. Quality is one of Kamala's favorite words when it comes to everything she produces, whether it be drinks she has made or food she has prepared. Kamala is a multi-talented individual. As a restaurant employee for many years, Kamala possesses customer service skills that encourage customers to always return to the French Veranda Mariners Hotel. Congratulations, Waitress of the Year 2022, Kamala Graves. May I ask someone from East Caribbean Group of Companies to come up? Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yachting Operator of the Year 2022. Horizon Yacht Charters has been operating out of the Blue Lagoon Marina and Hotel St. Vincent since October 2014. Jackie and James Pascal are the owner and operators, and they are supported by a hard-working and dedicated team. Leslie Dowden is the reservations manager for them for 6 years. She responds to inquiries and books the charters. But her job doesn't end there. She keeps in touch with the clients until the charter starts, answering any questions they may have. One client said she is the most patient person he has ever dealt with from a charter company. Lisa Allen is the operations manager. Lisa has worked with the company since 2016, having previously worked for TMM Yacht Charters. Lisa's role is very varied and demanding, and she does all this with patience and dedication. She oversees the yacht preparations before and after charters, organizes the staff at the base, shops for clients' provisioning, does the accounts, orders parts, and makes our clients feel relaxed and welcome when the charter starts. Lisa has a team of engineers and cleaning staff who work hard to prepare the yachts for charter and fix any, sometimes under enormous time pressure, any things that may occur. They often work 6 or 7 days a week in high season just to ensure our clients get the best service possible. Horizon Yacht Charters has become the premier charter company in the area. There are many reasons for this. The rates are reasonable, we look after our yachts, we have great staff, and the sailing area is amazing. Some recent reviews that we'd like to share. Excellent charter. We loved the Batamaran, and our experience with Horizon far exceeded expectations set by other charter companies. Easy and quick communication during reservation. Thoughtful insight leading up to our arrival. Wonderful dock crew and well-prepared boat. Great vacation. Great staff, very attentive. Checkout was great. Boat handled like a dream and was extremely well maintained. We had a wonderful time. Congratulations to Yachting Operator of the Year 2022, Horizon Yacht Charters. The award was sponsored by Quick Cash Corporation. Congratulations, Horizon Yacht Charters.
Mr. Roald Derrick, representing Quick Cash, will present the award. The final St. Vincent and the Grenadines Hotel and Tourism Association Award is that of Hotelier of the Year. This awardee has worked in the hospitality industry for the past 30 years, first as manager of Mariners Inn. She then launched Fantasy Tours in 1996 with her husband Earl. Adding to her portfolio, she established Paradise Beach Hotel in 2007 and still manages that establishment. Her companies have been built and guided by the philosophy of developing and maintaining high-quality standards that benefit all, to continuously strive to exceed expectations while delivering safe, fun, and unforgettable experiences to clients. She is committed to being a force for positive change as she works to preserve and promote the natural and cultural heritage of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. While holding these positions, Kim Halbish works closely with the Ministry of Tourism, the Tourism Authority, and the National Parks, Rivers and Beaches Authority of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. She has worked diligently on many projects that promote education and the protection of the environment. Part of the project implementation team for the development of the South Coast Marine Management Area, Director of the SVG Conservation Trust Fund, she lectures to schools on marine conservation, customer service, and careers in hospitality. She believes in the importance of the voice of the youth and has published or circulated work from both of her children advocating conservation and environmental protection. She has developed and carried out a floating classroom project with the support of IFAW, which worked to sensitize children on the importance of conservation and the protection of the marine environment. She has served on the board of the Hotel and Tourism Association for over 14 years and held the position of president from 2014 to 2017, a position which she presently holds. She continues to serve on the board of the SVG Tourism Authority and is on the Caribbean Biodiversity Fund Ecosystem-Based Adaptation Fund Committee. Kim Halbish is an avid advocate for the environment, education, sports, and the development of agro and sports tourism in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Her organizations support many environmental, educational, and sporting organizations and their efforts. It would be remiss of us all if mention is not made of Kim's Herculean efforts, both as an individual and as president of the SVGHTA in the fight against COVID-19, as well as the support provided for persons displaced by the volcanic eruptions. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to congratulate Kim Halbish, Hotelier of the Year 2022. This award was sponsored by Massey Stores SVG Limited, so if there's a representative of Massey Stores, please make your way up. Oh, your hair, okay, thank you. If you could stand here, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together once more for all the awardees, and we also wish
To thank the presenters, Bianca Porter, assisted by Nicole, Hazel, and Monroe. Congratulations once more to all the awardees. It's now turn for the Ministry of Tourism and the distribution of their awards. And to do that, I'd like to invite Anil Beach, the Tourism Education Officer.
Good night, everyone. The Ministry of Tourism Awards first begin with Immigration Officer of the Year. We invite the PS, Dr. Risa McBarnett, to present these awards. Thank you. Thank you. The Immigration Officer of the Year award goes to Mrs. Nasha Morris. Mrs. Nasha Morris was appointed to the post of Immigration Officer 2 at the Passport and Immigration Department on December 29, 2009. Mrs. Morris has worked at all sections of the department and is presently deployed at the Argyle International Airport, where she plays a pivotal role in border security issues. Having worked at the organization for a number of years, Mrs. Morris is an experienced member of the team and displays a high level of institutional knowledge. She has a strong passion for the job and requires minimal supervision to fulfill her job duties. Mrs. Morris possesses a disciplined, reliable, and positive work attitude and maintains a good working relationship with team members cross-functionally. Mrs. Morris is dedicated to producing work of excellent quality. She has been an essential part of our customer service and ensures that visitors to our shores are welcomed and assisted as much as possible. She demonstrates an aptitude for learning quickly
and a willingness to expand her skill set, thus frequently consulting team members from different departments for advice and guidance. She often goes above and beyond in her efforts to ensure consistency and generate content that exceeds expectations. She maintains a culture of transparency in her team and encourages knowledge sharing across all teams in the department. Ever since joining the department in 2009, her attendance and punctuality are commendable. Her time management skills, particularly related to how she schedules out her day, have resulted in very good performance that many of her coworkers try to emulate her. She is always well-groomed and neatly dressed. Her work ethic is a strong reflection of the organization's core values. This allows her to exemplify the true qualities of an immigration officer. The department is very proud to nominate Mrs. Nasha Morris as Immigration Officer of the Year 2022. Unfortunately, Mrs. Morris was unable to attend tonight's event, so we invite her supervisor to accept this award on her behalf. During the month of November, also known as Tourism Month, the Ministry of Tourism, Civil Aviation, Sustainable Development and Culture hosted two main competitions, the first being the Vincent Tourism Day competition, which allowed schools and government ministries to participate in decorating spaces to depict various aspects of our unique culture and natural tourism sites. Judges were given the challenging task to decide the winners. Here are the official winners of this competition, and thank you to all the various schools and ministries who took part in this competition. Vincent Tourism Day Best School goes to Barley Government School. Do we have a representative from Barley Government School tonight? Okay, it doesn't seem we have a representative here tonight, so we'll continue. Vincent Tourism Day Best Ministry Award goes to the Department of Fisheries from the Ministry of Agriculture. Do we have a representative here? Welcome her. Congrats to the Department of Fisheries. Yes, thank you. Yes. We now invite the Minister, Honorable Carlos James, to present the following awards. Minister. Paging Minister. The second competition held during Tourism Month was the Community Cleanup and Beautification Competition, which was conducted on the Grenadine Islands of Bequia and Union Island. This saw villagers coming together to clean and beautify their communities in an effort to enhance their surroundings. The winner of the Bequia leg is being awarded to the La Pompe bus stop. Is there anyone here? Congrats to La Pompe and Bequia. Give her a round of applause. And the winners of the Union Island segment goes to Dominique Valley. Do we have a representative here? Okay, so we continue with the best community group being the OWIA Heritage Organization. The OWIA Heritage Organization Incorporated is a registered non-profit, non-political, community-based organization formerly known as the OWIA Salt Pond Management Committee that was established in 2007 to co-manage the OWIA Salt Pond. The main objective of this organization is to preserve and promote the cultural and historical heritage of the community. OWIA Heritage Organization contributes tremendously to the development of the OWIA community. In 2018, the OWIA Heritage Organization, with funding from Sustainable Grenadines, Inc., was able to renovate the OWIA Gunpowder Magazine, a historical monument built by the French in 1773. In 2021, the organization partnered with several other organizations locally, regionally, and internationally to provide relief to the community in the aftermath of the volcanic eruption. Donations received included food and hygiene packages, building materials, and machinery. Also, OWIA Heritage Organization collaborates with the OWIA Community Disaster Response Team continually to conduct community cleanup activities. At present, the organization is partnering with the St. Vincent's Second Generation, an organization based in England, to support educational initiatives. With assistance from the St. Vincent's Second Generation, the organization has provided 2 scholarships for students to attend secondary school and college. Also, donations were given to the OWIA Government School for the Sports Awards and in recognition of 20 teachers for the outstanding years of service. In 2018, the OWIA Heritage Organization was awarded Best Community Group and is elated to win this prestigious award once more in 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, our Best Community Group, OWIA Heritage Organization. Our final award goes to the Barley Tourism and Heritage Organization, being the most outstanding community group. Barley Tourism and Heritage Organization was established in June 2007 to develop and manage tourism sites in Barley and its environment, and to protect and promote tourism interests in Barley. Barley Tourism and Heritage Organization has been co-managing the Walilabu Heritage Park in collaboration with the National Parks, Rivers and Beaches Authority since 2007. The organization is actively engaged in community development activities such as beach and river cleanups, bursaries for students entering secondary school, food packages for the elderly, and the children's summer program. In 2018, the organization received funding from Sustainable Grenadines, Inc. to create a backyard herbal garden to cultivate the production of indigenous foods. This initiative has helped to improve sustainable livelihood for members of the community. The organization is presently in the closing stages of managing the project titled Development of the Zion Hill Reforestation Reserve and Protected Area into a Fitness Trail, funded by the Global Environment Facility Small Grants Program. The purpose of the project is to develop Zion Hill into a fitness trail and recreational site that will add the biodiversity, conservation, and sustainable management of the forest and forest products, mainly fitness, health, sports, and recreation. Barley Heritage Tourism and Heritage Organization intends to manage an entire forest reserved area to add value to the tourism products in Barley and bring economic gains to residents of the area. They have also been awarded most outstanding community group 5 times in a row and is proud to be honored this year. Ladies and gentlemen, the Barely Tourism and Heritage Organization being awarded for Most Outstanding Community Group. Thank you, Minister.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for speech. We thank you very much. We invite the Honourable Minister to remain on stage for the presentation of the special award on behalf of the Minister of Tourism.
Thank you, Dion. There's Cindy Richards, who is a constituent from North Leeward. She will join me in this segment of the awards. And it's really just a small appreciation on behalf of some of the people of North Leeward who were adversely affected during the explosive eruption of the Lassa Fray. Now, from the tourism sector, services sector, a number of the hotels had to provide accommodation. A number of persons also volunteered at shelters and assisted in the aftermath of the explosive eruption of the Lassa Fray volcano just over a year ago. But during the evacuation exercise, there were two stakeholders whom I called personally to assist with the evacuation by sea. I know that there are other boats, the larger boats, the Express, the Jade and Sun, and Barracuda, and so on, who assisted with evacuation and so on. And nationally, we commend them for the effort. But within the tourism sector, because this is a tourism event, I wanted to single out two of the stakeholders who volunteered their time, their crew and resources to assist with the evacuation. It's not easy when you have a $1 million value boat, in some instances, or a $250,000 boat. And a minister called you and said, well, we need you to take your boat towards danger. And I don't know whether the insurance coverage extended to volcanic eruptions. But without any hesitation, they really answered the call and came out and said, look, we're going to assist where we can to evacuate persons from the North Leeward area. Cindy, who is from the village of Colesill, was the nearest point to Cumberland where the boats docked to assist persons. And I really want to show some appreciation, and the people of North Leeward want to show some appreciation to the stakeholders who really stood up to that challenge. And I want to call Jamak Seeley from Wind and Sea and Kim Halbesh to receive a token of appreciation on behalf of the people of North Leeward, and Cindy Richards will hand over that appreciation to these two outstanding stakeholders within the industry.
Cindy, come over this side.
These latest two awards lends an excellent touch, I think, to this evening's program. And to all those who thought of their distribution, kudos to you in recognition of the work and the outstanding services performed by outstanding Vincentians during a time of need. It's now the turn for the distribution of awards from the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Tourism Authority. And to do this, I'd like to invite Kamisha Bailey Brown and Delphine Otley, Quality Assurance Officers at the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Tourism Association.
Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone. We would like to invite the CEO of the Tourism Authority to come on stage, please. The St. Vincent and the Grenadines Tourism Award for the Most Compliant Accommodation, St. Vincent. Located off the Leewood Highway, 45 minutes from the Argyle International Airport and 15 minutes to Kingstown, this property boasts a stunning view of the surrounding valley and lies within walking distance of the beach and a major supermarket. Owned and operated by Foster and Patricia Burke, the property registered with the SVG Tourism Authority in 2018 and was first licensed in 2019. Mr. Burke is very hands-on in his approach to managing his investment. With the aid of the SVG Tourism Authority's annual audit reports, maintenance of and improvements to the overall aesthetics of the property is a regular occurrence. The property has remained consistently compliant with the requirements of the National Tourist Accommodation Standard. Mr. and Mrs. Burke's commitment to maintaining excellent standards and guest experiences is why they were chosen as our most compliant establishment on St. Vincent. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in congratulating the most compliant accommodation establishment, Belcastle Bed and Breakfast and Spa. Okay. All right. The most compliant accommodation in the Grenadines. The Baytree Villa, located in Peapatch Spring on the island of Clouds, Beckway, was amongst one of the first to be registered and licensed by the SVG Tourism Authority in 2015. However, it was not until almost a year later that owners and operators, Timothy and Susan Gabriel, began welcoming visitors to their property, ensuring that they were fully equipped to meet the needs of their guests. Over the years, Mr. and Mrs. Gabriel have continuously adhered to the recommendations of the SVG Tourism Audit Team, ensuring that the property is fully compliant with the minimum requirements of the National Tourist Accommodation Standards. their willingness to collaborate with the SVG Tourism Authority in improving our tourism standards to better cater to visitors coming to our shows has not gone unnoticed. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in applauding the Battery Villa as they receive the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Tourism Authority's Award as the most compliant accommodation establishment on Beckway for 2022. Unfortunately, they were not able to make it, so the SVG Tourism Authority will accept this award on their behalf. Thank you, Chief. A taxi operator for over 30 years, our next awardee is well known in the tourism industry. We became familiar with his service at the now decommissioned E.T. Joshua Airport, becoming a tourism-approved operator in 2014, and later transitioning his business to the Argyle International Airport. Despite a viral video of him taking what I like to believe was a much-needed power nap while on duty at the AIA, his compliance as an operator has never been in question. His commitment to his craft has been seen time and time again with his pleasant demeanor and uplifting spirit, and has even been passed down to family members such as his nephew, who is also a licensed taxi operator. When the COVID-19 pandemic threatened to bring our industry to a standstill worldwide, the SVG Tourism Authority, with the support of the Ministry of Tourism, introduced a Safe Zone initiative in hopes of rebuilding the trust in our industry that this pandemic threatened to rob us of. Tonight's awardee was notably cooperative and compliant, becoming one of the most to take advantage of this initiative and receive his Safe Zone certification. He even took it upon himself to encourage his colleagues to do the same in a time where fear and doubt was rampant, and for this, we express our deepest gratitude. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in congratulating Mr. Kingsley De Freitas, our most compliant taxi operator for 2022. Is Mr. De Freitas here? No? Okay. We're moving right along. Mr. Brendan Bino hails from the fishing village of Paget Farm, Beckway, and is the owner and operator of Jumping Taxi 2 for over 20 years. Brendan is a reliable, courteous, and friendly gentleman with a humble personality. He carries a prominent, welcoming smile, and his interactions with the tourism audit team is always pleasant. Brendan will endeavor to make all the necessary changes or adjustments indicated during the inspection of his vehicle so as to ensure the minimum requirements were always met as an approved taxi operator. Brendan's commitment to his calling saw him adding another taxi to his operation 2 years ago. He is often the first taxi at inspections when the team visit Beckway annually and the first to pay his tourism approval license. Brendan's continued demonstration of service excellence makes him a deserving recipient of this year's Most Compliant Taxi Operator Award for the Grenadines. Please join us in congratulating Mr. Brendan Bino. Is Mr. Brendan Bino here? No. We're moving right along. Foreign Tours, owned and operated by Gershom Quincy Lewis and wife Julicia Lewis, first registered with the SVG Tourism Authority as a tour operator on the 11th of September 2017. They started off with a single 18-seater bus and quickly became popular among cruise ship passengers for their Pirates of the Caribbean tour to Walilabu. As demands for their services increased, the Lewises expanded from a single bus to a fleet of 3 vehicles that now includes 2 24-seater buses. Mr. Lewis is known for his charisma and enthusiasm which is normally on full display on his tours. It is customary to see him in full captain regalia during this Pirates of the Caribbean tours, and his clients dutifully respond to the characterization by calling him Captain Quincy. Mr. and Mrs. Lewis are passionate about what they do. They are proficient at what they do, operating at the high standard that they set for themselves, while being faithfully compliant with the establishment standards of the SVG Tourism Authority. This husband and wife team is an impressive combination of complementary skill sets. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you the most compliant tour operator of the year 2022, Foreign Tours.
Something. He says he wants to say something. Yeah? Go ahead.
Good night, everybody. I must say something because I'm new to this. But the way I know it, like the BT Awards, the award, you get to say something, right? Right? So I'm gonna break the ice for next year, 2023, for all the awardees. You need to say something, right? Right, Crystal? They can't speak for us. We will speak for ourselves because we represent tourism every day. Tourism is everyone's business, right? Tourism is everyone's business, right? I can't hear you, St. Vincent. I just want to thank everybody. Thank my wife for taking the pictures and always supporting me. Thank the Tourism Authority, Mr. Glenn and his whole team. Carlos, welcome to the family. Mr. Shot for always keeping me in check. I want to thank God, and I know my mother is going to be proud. Colin, I know you're going to be proud too. All right. Thank you, everybody. Hip hip.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. As many may know, some good traits of a good tour guide entails being engaging, enthusiastic, possessing great communication skills, being punctual, and quite organized. The SVG Tourism Authority has over the years seen Miss Fiona Truitt Primus displaying these great qualities. Having been registered and approved as a certified tour guide with the Tourism Authority since 2018, Ms. Truitt Primus continues to display effortlessly her commitment to serving others through this medium. We would have seen her love and passion for this profession being displayed whenever she was solicited for tours on multiple occasions with stakeholders such as Correas and Company and Haziko Tours. It was through exceptional reviews we've received from many guests that prompt the Ministry of Tourism to select Miss Truitt Primus to be a part of the first cohort in the Walk Around Kingston tour. She portrayed a level of professionalism and overall had a profound general knowledge of the destination, which in the end left tourists feeling satisfied and wanting more. Mrs. Fiona Truitt Primus continues to comply with the rules and have met the minimum standards of being an approved tour guide with the SVG Tourism Authority. As such, we are pleased to award her with the most compliant tour guide in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as we celebrate Mrs. Fiona Truitt, SVG's Tourism Authority Most Compliant Tour Guide 2022.
That's why I'm here.
earned it. Thank you. I don't want to be like
Miss Martla James, who resides at Diamond Village, Beckway, has been a tour guide and worked for different tour operators for over 15 years. Miss James is also a lay leader at the Anglican Church in Beckway. Tanti Martla, as she is affectionately called by all on Beckway, is a spontaneous, jovial, and flamboyant individual who eagerly awaits the opportunity to meet and greet everyone she comes in contact with daily, especially the visitors to our shows, making each one feel at home. Miss James became a registered tour guide in 2011 and was one of the first tour guides to be registered in 2014. Her willingness to adhere to the process of our yearly licensing period is a clear indication of her commitment to her professional development as a tour guide. Tonight, we recognize Ms. Martla James as her years of commitment to the tour guiding profession, her continued service excellence, and her compliance with the Code of Practice for Tour Guides. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Martla James. Here. Miss James is not here, so we will keep her award until. Most Outstanding Tour Guide in Training 2022, Mr. Jerry Lewis. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we recognize Mr. Jerry Lewis as this year's most Outstanding Tour Guide in Training. Jerry's interest in tour guiding began after 3 days tour across destination St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That adventure prompted Jerry to apply to be trained and licensed as a tourism-approved tour guide with the SVG Tourism Authority. However, Jerry's passion for tourism and hospitality sector began well before his journey as a tour guide. In his early 20s, Jerry began working as a chef in varied restaurants in the United Kingdom. In 2009, Jerry began his studies at Middlesex University, London, in hospitality, travel, and tourism management. Although circumstances stymied the completion of his studies, it did not quell his thirst for knowledge and passion for the hospitality and tourism industry. This quest of knowledge was evident during his tour guide training. Jerry would visit the National Public Library and Archive at the end of each training day. He would then excitedly share with his fellow participants what he learned from previous days' research. His voice full of enthusiasm, detailing the rich history of our country. Further, Jerry's amiable and jovial disposition made him a favorite among other participants, serving as the motivator and the spokesman of his training group. Jerry now works as a licensed tour guide with Wind and Sea Tours Limited, conducting excursions on Beckway at the Botanical Garden and a catamaran cruise to Fort Duvernay. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in celebrating Mr. Jerry Lewis, the 2022 Most Outstanding Tour Guide in Training. Mr. Kieran Slammer London Lewis first gained national recognition in 2017 with his soca release for that year's Vincy Mass. Tonight, Kieran is being recognized for his performance in another arena as 2022 Most Outstanding Taxi Operator in Training. Having operated his popular taxi in the northeastern communities of Georgetown and the surrounding areas for the last 2 years, Kieran decided to expand his services. From the onset, Kieran expressed his desires to be licensed with the SVG Tourism Authority and to lead the way for other taxi operators on his route to follow. His registration for licensing was accompanied by that of 2 other taxi operators. While Kiran saw the operation of his taxi as a means of furthering his economic prospect, his passion for the hospitality is undeniable. Kiran worked for several years as part of the crew on Romeo's water taxi in the southern Grenadines, primarily in Tobago Keys. It was during these tours that Kiran became proficient in French. Having completed his taxi training, Kiran also registered and completed the tourism-approved tour guiding certification training. During training, he shared his knowledge of St. Vincent and the Grenadines with his soca flair. Additionally, Kiran wrote, starred in and produced a short promotional video depicting the benefits of being a tourism-approved service provider, the advantages of using tourism-approved services, and encouraging his fellow taxi operators to become licensed. Tonight, we salute Mr. Kiran Lewis as this year's most outstanding taxi operator in training.
Thank you very much to representatives from the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Tourism Authority. And just before we bring you the final award distribution, at this time I would like to invite the CEO of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Tourism Authority, Mr. Glenn Beach, to return to the stage to present the award for the FTD Tourism Authority Employee of the Year.
Good night, everyone. I know we're all eager to get back to the socializing, but just bear with us for one final award. While tonight is a lot for our stakeholders who have contributed to the industry, we also like to recognize the employees of the organizations who work so tirelessly to make things like this happen and to help our destination grow. Marlon Joseph was born on November 2nd, 1979, to mother Cynthia Joseph. He attended the Caliqua Primary School, where upon graduation he went on to the St. Vincent Boys Grammar School and subsequently the St. Vincent Community College. After graduating, Marlon began his professional career as a teacher at the Camden Park Secondary School, and later moved on to journalism, working with several media houses such as Cross Country Radio and NBC Radio. He even had a stint as a radio talk show host with Star FM. On February 1st, 2011, Marlon began his stint with the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Tourism Authority as a hospitality officer. Still in that role, Marlon interacts with a host of visitors from around the world with the aim of imparting meaningful knowledge and granting them an amazing visitor experience in an effort to sell the wonderful destination that is St. Vincent and the Grenadines. His love for his country can be felt during his interactions with his guests, allowing him to pass on his wealth of knowledge about the history and culture of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. His knowledge base is one rivaled only by the writers of our history books themselves. Marlon was given the opportunity to travel to Taiwan on assignment by the then Minister of Tourism, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Sabuta Caesar. It was no surprise that he was able to easily immerse himself in the rich culture of the Taiwanese and soak up a wealth of knowledge before his return to St. Vincent. This trip was so impactful that less than 2 years later, he forever immortalized this experience by naming his first and only daughter, Taiwan. She, along with his wonderful mother, are here tonight in support of the amazing man they call father and son. During his tenure at the St. Vincent Tourism Authority, While excellent in his role as hospitality officer, Marlon's love for the written word was not lost on any of his colleagues around him. Many of us are privy to his Facebook posts that include beautifully and skillfully written poems to his mother, loved ones, and the many Vincentians that impacted his life. His talent for writing is so impressive that in recent times he has been granted awards for his work in literature, inclusive of the 2022 Ellsworth Sheikh Keen Poetry Writing and the Professor H. Nigel Thomas in collaboration with the University of the West Indies Open Campus Fiction Writing Competitions. A role model in his community, Marlon is notably involved in several sporting activities. He can be spotted on any given weekend cheering on his fellow East St. George residents at a basketball or football game. His impact on the community, however, is not limited to sports and entertainment. During the recent eruption of the La Soufrière volcano, Marlon was nominated shelter manager in his constituency, being leader and motivator to the hundreds of displaced Vincentians that needed him. Testimonies of his amazing contribution during such a time of uncertainty can be heard across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Marlon brings a considered and thoughtful approach to his job, but equally a willingness to learn. Not one to be rushed, I have both interacted with and observed him working with peers and visitors. He takes the time to listen and understand. He is often a first stop for many coworkers who seek to engage in meaningful conversation about our industry and our country. When it is time to take initiative, he does so with gusto and determination, as seen by the ease at which his superiors will let him take control of the many familiarization tours his unit conducts. Marlon always sees the good side of people and encourages other staff members to do the same. He has been a motivator, a friend, a confidant, and an overall good person to those around him. I believe many would agree that this award was a long time coming, and it gives me great pleasure to announce the SVGTA Employee of the Year, Hospitality Officer Marlon Joseph.
There you go, right?
Right there.
That's why someone tax here about. You also get a check for $3,000 or $2,000 too. Well deserved.
Really thank you for inviting my mom. It means a lot to me.
You want to say anything or are you good?
Let me just say one. Okay. Following in Quincy's footstep, I mean, I'm really overwhelmed. I'm extremely grateful to attain this award. I mean, I do my job because I love it. I'm passionate about it. And I want to thank Whitney and others who surprised me this evening by inviting my mom and my daughter, two people who mean the world to me and who really inspire me to continue to work hard and be the best that I can be. So thank you so much to my peers and the SVG Tourism Authority, all the stakeholders with whom I work. I am extremely grateful. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time from Marlon Joseph. And by extension, I just wish to join in congratulating all the winners here this evening. And to those who didn't come out in winner's row, this is an indication for you to do better next year, to receive the great rewards as they are doing for 2022. At this time, I'd like to invite Whitney Oliver Woods, the Executive Assistant of the SVG Tourism Authority, to do the expression of gratitude.
Good night again, everyone. I just want to say, on behalf of the Honorable Minister Carlos James, the PS Dr. Risa Noel Barnett, the CEO, Mr. Glenn Beach, our COO, Mrs. Faylene King, all the stakeholders, our board of directors, we want to say thank you for coming out tonight. We hope that this year was just the start of what would be a fruitful cruise season, a fruitful restart to our industry. We hope that you continue to work along with us, that we'd be able to aid you in whatever way possible to push our industry. I hope everyone has a good night tonight, and thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you very much, Whitney. And all that's left for me to do is to invite Jared Rose to come and to give us some entertainment as we encourage you to stick around and enjoy the rest of the evening. All the best for the rest of the year, and continue to be excellent at what you do. Good night.
Yeah. 1, 2.
Everything for the
Yeah. Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. Tourism, good night. So my name is Javid, the one and only. I'll be entertaining you guys for a little bit. Want to congratulate everyone who was awarded tonight. Kudos to you. Is anybody here coupled up? Thank you. Tourism, good night, good night. Anybody came here with their boo? Anybody all booed up tonight? All right, nice. So the next song is for the couples in the house, all right? When I found the love for me, darling, just dive right in. Follow my lead. I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. 'Cause we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what this was. I will not give you up this time. Darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I know, and in my arms you're holding mine. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms. I'm barefoot on the grass. I'm listening to our favorite song when I saw you in that dress, looking so beautiful. I don't deserve it, darling. You look perfect tonight. Night, night. Well, I found a woman stronger than anyone I know. I share her dreams. I hope that one day we share a home. I found the love, carry more than just my secrets, to carry love, to carry children of our own. We are still kids, but we're so in love, fighting against all odds. I know we'll be alright this time, but darling, just hold my hand. Be my girl, I'll be your man. Girl, I see my future in your eyes. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms. I'm barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. I have faith in what I've seen. Now I know I have met an angel in person. She looks perfect tonight. Woo, thank you.
Sounds I heard, the touch I felt, the views I saw, the fresh flavors, the beautiful craftsmanship, the people I met, the celebration of freedom, the scenic nature. There's only one way I can describe this place, and it's by its name.
Welcome to St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Welcome to my country. Welcome to our islands.